And I think when we talk about understanding your talent pipeline, I think we should actually think about the pipeline like an actual pipe, like a water pipe. And with, what you want to do is you want to maintain your supply. But if the pipe is leaking or if it's cracked, then the water is just rushing out and you're not retaining the supply that you're spending time and money to like pour into it.
Mhm.
So you could ignore, the cracks and just keep pouring more water in, or you could actually patch the cracks that are causing the water to leak out and retain that water. Now, talking about talent pipelines, the cracks in this case are things like micromanagement, job dissatisfaction, like you said, James, a lack of psychological safety, or a lack of belonging. Now, once you've addressed those leaks, then the talent that's entering your pipeline will be far more secure. And this will allow for more and even better talent to come into your pipeline because they know they're not going to slip through the cracks or they're not wasting their time. And this effort to let retention, as you said, James, be the key to your attraction is what we at Roman 3 call talent security. Now, if talent security is an idea that interests you, and in this talk, it's something that you're like, yeah, I want to learn more about this, we actually have some great info on talent security at our website at roman3.ca. So make sure you check that out. But I think that thinking of the talent pipeline like an actual pipe as far as retention and attraction, I kind of think is something that most of us really need to really do to put this whole thing into perspective.
Well, it's a good analogy for a few reasons. I think it speaks to a lot of the frustrations on both ends. Businesses are frustrated right now in trying to, like, why can I not find people?
Right.
Right? Why do people, I go through all of this effort and, I get ghosted at the interview stage, or, and that happens on both. Let's be serious. That happens to both sides.
Absolutely.
Like, there's a lot of frustration out there in the labor market about how businesses treat and engage in talent attraction. And there's a lot of frustration from businesses about how employees or potential employees engage in the labor market. And it's because they're not speaking the same language. They're not on the same page. They're not approaching. There's a misalignment here.
Right.
And if we use your analogy of the pipe, businesses just keep throwing more and more time and effort and money in pushing out their opportunities to the labor market, right? Hiring recruitment agencies or doing it themselves. It's a lot of energy to actually find the best people to bring into your organization. And then you go through all of that effort to have somebody leave after 6 months or a year. That's incredibly frustrating. Right? But it's because you have not secured your talent pipeline, right? If you're experiencing those types of challenges, then the stuff that we're going to talk about might be really important for you to latch onto, because there are simple, tangible things that you can do to start to address these issues.
Yeah, and I kind of think like that's like what I feel like, or we feel like our mission is with our work and our podcast and our YouTube channel and all the work that we do is trying to bring the tangible, practical, measurable ways to these, extremely difficult, hard to grasp, almost like ether of an issue that is everything around talent and workforce and HR and everything like that. And I think that a way to maybe even put a bit more clarity into this whole issue is that poor success with attraction is really the symptom. It's not the actual problem. It's what we're experiencing, is what we feel, but it's not an inherent problem. It's just the symptom, because the poor retention or a bad or a weak employer brand, that really is the sickness. That's the thing that is actually causing you to have the issues with low success with attraction, or frustration with people ghosting you, or no one applying for the job postings, or no one staying for a long time. And it's the idea that we have to understand that if we keep pushing people to apply for us and trying to address the problem as an attraction issue, then we're setting ourselves up to fail. But if we really do understand that, no, the problem is we're not addressing job dissatisfaction. We're not creating an inclusive workplace where people feel like they belong. We're not meeting the expectations of the workforce, or even understanding the expectations. And that is the sickness that is causing us to have these issues.
Well, and how many times in our previous work around workforce development have we seen the effect of an employer brand?
Yeah.
Right. We've seen it for good and for bad. We've seen it for very bad several times.
Super bad.
Super bad. Yeah. And not to harp on that, but I mean, if you had, I love the analogy of the labor market and the consumer market, because I think it's a really important concept for businesses to grasp onto.
Yeah.
And we spend so much time trying to build our brand, in the consumer market. What do people who are going to buy from us think about us? Right? That is a very important and well thought out, and there's money and time and energy dedicated to that. But we don't do the same thing in the labor market, right? We don't think about the labor market as a marketplace. And now more than ever, it's an open marketplace where people have the ability to work virtually anywhere. In many jobs, they have the ability. We are less constrained by our geographical locations now than we have ever been to find employment. So you are not just competing with the business down 2 doors down from you. You are competing for talent across the world.